We're live.
I want to be able to do fireworks, damn it.
You got to have the magic thumbs.
Ugh. All right, well, we've talked about this before, but we're going to talk about maybe a little bit more in depth about the expenses here, lifestyle choices that make your move here or life here either more budget or more expensive. So we're going to be doing a deep dive on expenses again. But anyway, guys, I'm Michal Alan for TravelCostaRicaNow.com, and that's...
Well, I'm Alan Richard with Off the Grid Homestead, and hey, nobody gives you as much awesome information as Michal and I. So, hey, I'm getting ready for a great one. Mike, hey, how did your week go, man?
Well, it was chilly. It was kind of a chill, I guess, this week, and I didn't really do a whole lot. I just had a lot of email stuff to do. I got a lot of, I do travel packages, so everybody's coming right now, and there's all this banking stuff, but it's all internet stuff. So it's pretty easy peasy now that I have a business account and I can do everything on the internet. So, which is great. I can't tell you, man. I cannot believe for 14 years, I walked in and out of banks every day for 4 months, spending massive amounts of hours. Now I'm just paid.
You're a high-tech redneck.
Yeah, man, it's great. We sold a lot of packages, a pretty good season for TravelCostaRicaNow.com as far as Costa Rica travel packages. So I just kind of did some business stuff. What about yourself? And do you have any big plans for New Year's Eve?
Well, nothing super big. It's been, it's really kind of been a chill week. It's been a good week compared to last week. Last week was just one of them crazy, crazy weeks. It just makes you wonder why you're here in Costa Rica sometimes. But this week was just a good, chill week, And look, man, I've made a New Year's resolutions. I'm not big on New Year's resolution because as soon as you make a New Year's resolution, something happens, and like the first 2 weeks, it's over. But hey, I've decided, man. Look, I'm chill. I'm chill. I'm not going to let the craziness bother me anymore. I know that's what it is. And I'm excited for this year. I think it's going to be a pretty dang good year all around for everybody. And today, hey, right after this show, Rebecca and I are going into San Isidro. We're going to our favorite restaurant. They got a super view of the city, and we're going to celebrate New Year's together and just kind of get ready for a brand new year.
So let me get this right. So your New Year's resolution is like to be more chill?
That's right. I'm not, crap happens to all of us, right? And you can't control that, but I can control how I respond to that crap. And so instead of just getting mad and getting angry, I'm going to be like, well, hey, dude, you've been here 10 years. Are you ever going to learn? I mean, that stuff happens. So it's like, okay, all right.
Wow. You shouldn't have told me this. I got to say, Alan, because I'm going to take it upon myself to rile you up as often as possible just to see if I can't get you to break that resolution quickly.
and I can count on you to do that, brother. So it's kind of like, don't be asking for patience. Don't be praying for patience because you know what's going to happen. You're going to be tested. So you're going to test me. That's that devil sitting up here.
Well, you know what? So, okay, I just want to ask you another question about that. So you want to be more chill, but do you have like some steps you're like looking to do? Like, okay, are you making it more tangible? It's easy to go, well, I'm going to be more chill. But are you actually, I don't know, are you going to start meditating? Are you going to start, do you have any plans?
I guess you could say that. Every morning I meditate, if you want to call it that. Me and Papa, me and God, we spend time every morning. But what I like to do is every morning I make this declaration. So I take and I declare what I'm going to accomplish. And so I've written down in my declaration that, okay, I'm going to change. Help me to be more calm, more mild, to accept the things that are around me so that I can, so I can focus on the positive. And so every day as part, it's concrete every morning, whenever I go walk and me and Nikki are walking and I'm thinking about what I'm doing that day, I'm saying, I'm going to be more chill. I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm not going to let this outside stuff affect me. And I'm going to be quick to listen and slow to speak.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see how this goes. I actually have a
Hey, I agree with Shelley right here. Thank you, Shelley. You're on my side. You're making progress, Alan.
She's just trying. She just gave you a little gold star to make you feel good about yourself. She doesn't really believe that. She's just trying to be positive. I actually have a New Year's resolution too for the first time in probably 25 years. I'm not much of a New Year's resolution guy, but I did feel like I'm going to make this resolution because it's going to force me to do this certain thing. And once I do that, when I go, I'm doing this starting this time, I am very disciplined that way. But unfortunately, I had to, kind of pick a date, and it just happens to be around New Year's Eve. So I do have a resolution. We won't get into that right now, but
oh, come on. Yeah, no. You can't do that. You can't tell us you got a New Year's resolution.
Because it's a bummer stuff. It's like nobody wants to hear the sad story stuff, man. That's another time.
Okay.
Now I'll tell you afterwards when things maybe change and things are going a certain way. Then I'll go, oh, this is what I was doing. So,
yeah. All right. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Today we are talking about because here's the unfortunate thing, and this is why I like that Mike and I team up, because you can look for all kind of stuff on the internet, and unfortunately, there's a lot of bad narratives on the internet that maybe it used to be this way and now it's not. For example, when Rebecca and I first came down here 10 years ago, we heard that it was cheap to live in Costa Rica. And you know what? 30 years ago, it was cheaper, I should say, to live in Costa Rica. You could buy properties for hardly nothing, stuff like that. Okay. However, things change. And hey, there's one thing we can count on: things always change. But that narrative kind of kept on going. There's several narratives out there. And so one of the narratives is, because of that change, is that Costa Rica is expensive. Costa Rica is expensive. Well, today, we're going to kind of deep dive into that. But today I would like to prove to you, is Costa Rica expensive or is it not expensive? So by the end of this show, I'm going to prove one way or the other, which is it? Is it expensive or not? What do you think?
Well, I want to start out one thing to make people so we can differentiate. It is expensive for the traveler that doesn't know what they're doing or didn't use, like, let's say, travelcostarica.now.com. Seriously, I'm not trying to advertise myself. I'm just trying to say we give people good packages. We make a little bit of money. We do not price gouge you. Matter of fact, you don't even pay us. It's actually the commission from a hotel or the transport guy that actually pays. But anyway, for the traveler or the uneducated traveler that doesn't really know what they're doing and they're just going willy-nilly around Costa Rica, it can be extremely expensive because you're hitting tourist towns, for God's sake. What do you think? And you don't even know, like, you come to Fortuna, you don't know the place to go. You don't know where I go, where it's not so cheap. There's a place just right in Fortuna, just not even outside, but inside, but a little further. They still give you beers before 7 o'clock for 1,000 colones. 1,000 colones, but you don't know that. And that happens a lot when it comes to traveling and the visitors. So there's the distinction about traveling here and living here is just vastly two different things. And again, especially if as a traveler you didn't really do really much homework, or you thought you'd do it yourself, and you just go to Google, and of course you only see 3 or 4 options, and you think those things are true. And everybody says Costa Rica is expensive, Costa Rica is expensive, Costa Rica is expensive, Costa Rica is expensive. So they've been hitting that hard for quite a few years now, and it can be. So all that's kind of true, but living here, I think, is a lot different. So
it is. Well, I want to add on to that because, yes, you're absolutely right. It can be expensive for travelers. It normally is because they don't know the secrets that we know. However, when you're living here, it absolutely is going to be way too expensive for you because you don't know what you're doing. But if you have someone like myself and you're like, hey, Alan, I need you to help me. Take a look at this. Is this correct? That's exactly what some people have done. And I'm like, dude, don't pay that. They are ripping you off left and right. So, it's so important to realize that if you have the right team, you have the right people that are supporting you. And that's why everyone is on this channel today, they're learning, they're researching, they're finding out the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that they don't get ripped off, or so that they can learn the hacks to where it is going to save them money. And it's just important that you need to know that.
I only know maybe, actually, I don't know anybody, but I'm going to say I know two people that didn't get gringo price when they got here as far as a rental property. You get a rental property here and you've never lived here before, you are going to get gringo price no matter almost what you do. And because I know all the mistakes people make when they look at rentals, but for some reason, everybody gets gringo price usually at least once, in the beginning. And then you realize 3 months later, man, she told me she gave me a deal, man. I'm paying $300 over the thing. So, so again, not knowing, we could talk about gringo pricing, because as far as rental properties, there's a few mistakes that people seriously make when they're renting a property. So I got gringo price the first time, so
I did too.
We learned the hard way as well. So, but that is probably the biggest thing. And then, it comes to, what your wants versus your needs. What are your lifestyle choices? What do you have to have? What can you do without? What do you want? What do you need? I've said it before. I only get my needs almost completely. I don't want anything. I have to eat, I have to have a towel. So I buy those things, but I don't buy a knickknack to have a knickknack. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course, when I was in Louisiana and I'm doing construction, man, I had a 20-foot trailer packed full of tools. And anytime I'd buy tools, well, I'd buy the best. Well, I really wished I had all those tools here. Well, now I'm having to buy tools. But you know what? When I first started buying those tools, I found out that, man, there's a lot of crap. And it took me a long time to find the right place to buy tools where I could buy DeWalt tools and not get paid a stinking fortune. So there's a lot of hacks that you're learning. And it's still like, okay, do I really need that? Am I going to use it that much? Maybe I can do it some other way, but it's a whole lot of, because I don't want to, I come down here to downsize and hey, I had 3 houses when I was in the United States. Well, I only want one now. I want one, and I want one tiny house. So I'm forced to downsize because I don't need all of that extra stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for real. So I totally agree with that. I want to go back to, I just want to go over a couple things with the gringo pricing on finding long-term rentals, because I think it's important. There's a couple of reasons people make huge mistakes on long-term rentals. One is, and people don't understand this, they don't want to feel stupid when they're talking. When the person says it's $1,500 a month, you want to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. You're like, okay, you don't want to seem like, wait a minute, that's messed up. You don't want to start a conversation with that's overpriced. You want to act like you did some homework in the neighborhood. And yes, $1,500 is the thing, so a lot of people just don't want to appear stupid. And the other thing people do is they think of where they're from in the United States and go, well, a place comparable in the United States, so this place I'm looking at in Costa Rica would be $2,000. And they said $1,500. So man, that's got to be good. That's got to be good. And it does sound good when you do that logic. You're like, well, I would have spent $2,000 in the States. So you're like, wow, we scored, honey. Well, that house is probably $850. Really,
Right. Now, I think the number one mistake they make when they're looking for that rental is that they either call a realtor or they go and they call the actual owner. Don't do that. If you call, I don't care how good your Spanish is, they know that you're an expat, you're a foreigner, and the price immediately goes up. So you've got to have a trusted friend, or you got to quickly make a Tico friend, and you got to be able to have that person call, and you got to explain to them, so, and look, I mean, you got to have the right connections and tell them, hey, look, can you call this place and find out how much the rent is? Tell them you're interested in renting. Don't tell them that you're calling for a gringo, okay? You're interested in renting, and get the price, okay? And then if you do that, you're going to get the original price. And look, I would have more than one person call. You know, maybe you can't trust that guy because you're brand new. You just got here. You don't know if he's trusted. Well, when you go to the next restaurant, you know, and you're talking to the owner and they're real friendly. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you call and ask how much they want rent on this thing? And then you're going to get the real price. And in that way, you're not getting the gringo price.
Yes, I would agree with that as well. So I was going to say something else. I don't want to, hold on. I got to think about this for a second. Oh, so I've got at least over the years, 3 or 4 videos of how to find a long-term rental. Well, it works. It works. It works. It works. And it actually works 100% of the time if you put the time into it to do it. And I've noticed nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do, you know, the best houses aren't advertised. The best houses are from the waiter you're talking to, and his grandmother has a freaking house in the back of the house that has been sitting empty for 3 years, and she'll rent it out for $200. So
right.
it's talking to these people, you know, around, go to a neighborhood, walk around, look at the say alquilar signs for rent, and have a Tico make that call. These places most of them are not on the internet. If they're on the internet, you're already starting to pay too much. It's already
paying
it's
too
already
much.
It's already gringo price. It's already gringo price.
Every single town pretty much has a farmer's market. I say go to the farmer's market, hang out, buy some fruits, some vegetables and stuff. And at the farmer's market, you talk to people, you're going to find somebody that's got a house for rent. I mean, look, I found them as cheap as $80 a month. Now, is it a Tico house? Yes. But I found a brand new Tico house, never lived in before. $80 a month.
Yeah, and I understand why some people don't want to live again like I do, but the point of it is you can find something a lot less than you think you can. Like we said before, go 10 minutes outside of a tourist town, go 10 minutes down the road, and it's going to be more cost effective. So there's all these things you can do, but I've noticed nobody wants to do it. And I understand that too, because they're going to a country, man, they don't know. They don't roam around. They're like, can I walk around the neighborhood? I don't know. Maybe people are going to look at me or rob me or something. So I get it, but almost nobody does it. But if you live here, and I do, I've done it that way every time I found a place. Every time I found a place, it's talking to people. Hey, man. And then they go, oh, yeah, somebody just left that one house. They're looking for somebody. You could go over there right now or whatever. So, and you can find a lot like that. You can, but again, a lot of people aren't comfortable. A lot of people aren't comfortable in another country doing it like that.
Now, Doug brought up a point that I'm not sure I quite agree with, but he says gringos screw gringos more than Ticos screw gringo. And I don't know that I can agree with that, but what he is saying, there's a lot of truth to. If you happen to find a house for rent and it's owned by a gringo, oh, he most definitely is going to give you the gringo price, because he already knows that you don't know what the normal price is, and his house is going to be a little higher standard, or maybe a lot more higher standard than a Tico house. So I can understand a point to what he is saying, okay? But, hey, the truth of the matter is, yeah, Ticos will screw gringos, but hey, Ticos, they're not prejudiced. Ticos will screw themselves. They will screw each other. They're not prejudiced at all.
I'm pushing back. I totally agree with Doug, and I'll tell you why. Because gringos are more nefarious in the way they do it. They act like your friend. They act like they're helping you out. Oh, this is $1,500. They play games with you, and you're thinking, hey, man, this dude's from Louisiana, where I'm from, and it seems like we're bonding right now, and he's cool. And that dude will rip you off in a second. So that my problem with the gringos is they're more calculated in their deceptions and manipulations, and it's usually a bigger manipulation. Ticos, you just kind of figure they're going to do it. I mean, if you go around, they see you're a gringo. Yes, they add money to it. You know that. But the gringo acts like he's buddy-buddy with you and go, hey, man, usually this goes for $1,700. I'll give it to you. I can't go any lower than $1,500. And that shit was probably $1,000,
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with Doug on that one.
Yeah, that's true to an extent, Of course, and I see it a lot both ways. Even Rebecca would disagree. Of course, I do a whole lot of the construction, a whole lot of the land, a whole lot of the negotiations, and she doesn't do that a whole lot. And then of course, she's around the other ticas and stuff, and they're much friendlier, and so she's not having to make those kind of deals. So she's not normally, I go to the shade tree mechanic. I know that he's going to give me the gringo price, or he's going to try, so I've learned all that stuff. But hey, the point is getting the hacks, getting the right connection so that you can save money, so that you don't get the gringo price. Because when I first came here, I heard about the gringo price. So in my mind, I thought every single thing was going to be a gringo price. Well, no, it's important to understand gringo price is normally going to be on big ticket items, services. You go inside the store, most of those things are marked. Okay. You go into a tiny pulperia. Okay, tiny pulperia, you might get the gringo price, but usually it's not in those scenarios.
Yeah, true. So I think, and then a lot of people are coming down here, and this happens a lot too. They're just trying to replicate a life that they lived in wherever they're from, and they think they can do all that stuff. I can still have my 2 cars, my ATV, my pool, a maid, and all that stuff, and I can have it for cheaper in Costa Rica. Well, that is not true, and anybody that lives here knows that it can be more expensive actually when you start doing it like that. And so I think a lot of people just make that mistake of trying to they're not changing anything in their life. They're just replicating a life that they had wherever they're from, and they want to do it here, and they think it's going to be 50-cent beers,
right? Yeah, they still looking at that old narrative that says Costa Rica is cheap, and if you come from Canada, the United States, I don't care where, and you're trying to have the exact same lifestyle in Costa Rica, 100% it's going to be too expensive for you. You can't do that. You don't come to Costa Rica so that you can replicate your exact lifestyle back home. That's not going to happen. Now, if you got more money than sense, okay, have at it. Do you, right?
I even think that even if you have a bunch of money, I still think that can create a lot of problems if you haven't done things right, like if you get caught up and maybe Costa Rica is not right for you, but you did bought all these things and stuff and cars and houses and stuff like that, that can be turn into a clusterfuck pretty easy.
Now, it's now might be a good time to mention, Michael, that, it's like we're saying, most people just aren't prepared. They don't have the contacts. They don't know who to talk to. All they're doing is getting information off of YouTube, off of Google. But hey, where can you go and get the right contacts, Michael?
Well, I mean, we got a relocation retreat coming up, and if Costa Rica is on your radar, or you want to take actually, I really like this whole, if you want a crash course, and if you're not sure if Costa Rica is right for you, because we're getting a lot of people that are thinking about living here but have never been here. So it's also a good crash course, cultural aspects, all the stuff you're going to encounter. And you can, even if you've never been here, you can get a pretty good idea if Costa Rica is going to work for you or not. But anyway, we do have one coming up. It's March 3rd. We did a little lull. We were selling them out, and it's done really good. But during Christmas, obviously it's the holidays, and people aren't really thinking about March 3rd. But I guarantee you in the next the beginning of January and the first couple of weeks, I'm sure it's going to get back to, hey, we need to look at that relocation retreat. We would love to see you there, man. We'd love to talk to you around the pool and walk on the beach. You can do adventure tours. There's great people talking. The contacts are worth the price of admission. If you want to sign up, we get individual credit. So if you want to sign up through me, you got to sign up through me on my page. If you want to sign up through Alan, you got to go to his page because it gives us a credit. And so that it kind of matters. But anyway, we would love to see you there. And I'm sure we'll have one after March as well. But right now it's that. And I can't wait. I'm super excited because they're getting better every time. And they are. And I don't know. It's fun. I enjoy going down there.
I mean, it's really exciting, and really the people that come to the event, they actually make those connections. And I just can't say it enough, because if you don't go to a relocation event, well, you don't have the contacts, and you're meeting people, and all of these, they're not allowed to say you a single thing. Okay. But you have the contacts, and you have the people that say, hey, man, am I getting gringo priced here? Tell me about this. And so you've got these connections. You're going to save money, and you're going to be prepared if you go to one of our relocation retreats. That's all it is to it. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, look at some of the connections. I mean, we got Sarah there who does relocation. And if you can't find that rental home for you, she'll find it for you. We got an import export guy that's going to be transparent in the pricing if you want to ship your household goods down here. We got health people. We got insurance people. We got real estate stuff if you want to go that way. You know, we got all kinds of stuff, and they're all good people. And that's kind of the difference. You know, no one's going to try to talk you into anything. They're just giving you the information so you can make the best decision, I think. So,
and that's what's really, really important. So, you know, going back to okay, is Costa Rica really expensive? So here's what I want you folks to think about, because you know, I see it all the time. You see it all the time. I left. Costa Rica's too expensive. Well, I want you to think about this. Okay. The majority of the Ticos that live in Costa Rica, the average salary is anywhere from $500 to $750 a month. There's 5 to 6 million people that live in Costa Rica. 5 to 6 million people in Costa Rica, they're living on an average salary of $500 to $750 a month. And none of them say Costa Rica is too expensive to live in. They're living here. So all of you, everybody that comes here, I guarantee are making more than $750 a month. Okay. So if it's not too expensive for them, then why is it too expensive for you? Well, my thought is Costa Rica is not too expensive for you. You're too expensive for you. You can't afford your own taste in Costa Rica. And that goes back to you can't replicate your lifestyle here. So there's a whole bunch of people saying it's too expensive. No, you're too expensive. And that's how you got to look at it. If a Tico can live here on $500 a month, why can't you? Now, yeah, they do things a little bit different. Sometimes they get free housing, but my point is, yes, you can live here. It's not too expensive, but you just got to decide if you want to replicate your life here, or did you really come down here to get off the hamster wheel? Did you really come down here to kind of change your lifestyle and really enjoy a slower pace, a different pace, enjoy the countryside, all that good stuff?
well, to be honest, I mean, to be fair, a lot of Ticos do surround themselves with family. You know, so there's, you know, sometimes there's 15 in the house. You know, so you know what I mean. So they can save money. I remember during when the pandemic broke here, La Fortuna, they just all left. The people that work here in the tourist industry just all went back to family. They just circled their big time into family here, which is nice to see, I got to say. And they just circle themselves with that. And they usually live with roommates or family members and stuff, and they can cut corners. And that's what, I don't know what made me think this. I still like that whole, not a commune, man, not a commune, but a permacultural thing with 10, 15 houses maybe, and maybe more, all like-minded thinkers, you know, living together, pulling
all
weight.
helping one another.
And nobody, no guru. And I think those are going to be big. I think people are going to go back to that, because we're going to talk about this next week when we kind of talk about, you know, what we think is going to go on with 2024. So I don't want to say too much, but yeah. So
yeah, I agree. There's so many ways that you can actually enjoy your slice of paradise, and make it way more affordable. But it does kind of go back. It's kind of going back to what you said. It's kind of maybe going back to your roots. It's actually, hey, maybe having a little garden, or maybe living in a co-op, a small micro community where you all got the same thoughts, and you're like, hey, let's have a community garden. Let's do stuff together. Listen, you know, I think it would be huge.
Yeah, if you got, come on, man, let's be honest. If you got a food source and you have a roof over your head,
and you got a water source, my gosh, you really have got it
pretty good. It's pretty inexpensive. Now it's just going to come down to, again, wants and needs, or what you want to. But again, on my little place where we're all going to live, I need like-minded thinkers. I'm not going to put up with dumbass people and all that. So I would vet anybody that wanted to live there.
Oh, I agree 100%. You know, Rebecca and I have said it all the time. Why don't we take all the idiots and put them over here on an island somewhere? They'll enjoy each other. The other idiots over here.
I think you better go to chill right now. Go to chill. I think you might be going off the rails right now for a second.
I wasn't getting loud. I just having a little fun. I mean, I could be one of the idiots on that island as long as they're all like-minded idiots.
I don't know. I think the lifestyle is important. I think the simple life, most people do, I think, want to simplify their life. Or Costa Rica really wouldn't fall on your radar that much, and just unless you're buying a condo by the beach and you want to live here 3 months out of the year. But if you actually want to live here, I think most people are looking to, even if they have money, still downsize to a degree, I think.
Well,
I don't
I
know.
agree. I mean, hey, when I was in the United States, I drove a F-350, brand new, great big monstrous truck. Okay. Hey, I would love to have one of them here. However, do I really need that? No, I got a 26-year-old Galloper, and it does what I need it to do. So, hey, there's it's just deciding, what do I really want to do? Do I want to spend $80,000 on an F-350, or do I just want to enjoy life? And I don't need that kind of extra stuff.
Yeah, and look at me. I mean, I hadn't had a car for 18 years. So if you pick the right place to live and you're living a certain way, people just assume you have to have a car. And that can be true, obviously, if you're working on a house or you're building, you need to haul stuff, or you're a little further away and you got to haul groceries or whatever. But if you pick your place correctly, a car's expensive here, with all that. I don't want to marchamo, retevi, the tax stuff here. It can be kind of pricey here, but I saved myself a lot of money for a lot of years not having a car. So
absolutely. Well, the first couple of years that Rebecca and I were here, we drove everywhere on a little motorcycle. I mean, everywhere. And I mean, we got groceries, everything on a little bitty motorcycle. And we didn't actually buy a vehicle until we started coming out to this property. And this property was a long ways out, and you really had to have four-wheel drive. You really couldn't come here, not both of us, on that little bitty motorbike. Okay. So, we saved a whole lot of money the first couple of years. It's really deciding. I think a lot of people can save a whole lot of money by coming here, getting a little bitty motorbike that's only going to cost you $3,000, and then finding out whether you really like Costa Rica before you spend all that kind of money on an expensive vehicle.
Yeah, this is kind of funny. When did I get my car? 2 months ago, something like that?
Yeah.
I still have a quarter of a tank. I've never put gas in it yet. I got it from Johnny it was a full tank. And I still have a quarter of a tank 2 months later. That's how much I don't drive.
Yeah.
So
and so if it's your priorities. It's like, well, hey, it's kind of like, when people come down here, they do want to try to get healthy. I find that a lot of people decide to start working on their health, and a lot of people instantly start getting healthier just simply because it's just a better environment. And so if you have the right connections, well, guess what? You can find the right doctors, the right people. You can save money. If you don't have the right connections, well, you're going to spend a whole lot of money. But hey, guess what? At the relocation retreat, you have that right connection. He can help you get the right healthcare providers and all that good stuff. Well, it's kind of like in the United States, you see people circling the parking lot 1,000 times because they're trying to park in the front. Hey, what's wrong with parking in the back and walking a little bit and getting a little bit healthier? And it's kind of the same. It's all those little tiny things that you can do in Costa Rica that's going to make life better for you. Hey, why not walk to the grocery store instead of getting in that car? Why not ride your bicycle like you do instead of getting in that car? All these little things that's going to improve your health.
This is probably going to piss people off, but I'm going to say it anyway because that's what I do. Have you ever noticed, they always talk about, what do you think can I live in Costa Rica for $1,000 a month? Can I live in Costa Rica for $1,200 a month? Can I live this X amount? It's usually a low number. Okay, so if you're older and you have $1,000 coming in extra a month, you made certain life choices along the way. You weren't really paying into Social Security that much. It's kind of the people that bitch the most are the ones that really weren't maybe taking care of their financial needs prior to Costa Rica. All of a sudden it's like, well, I have this amount of money, and okay, that's fine. But the reason you have that amount of money is because for whatever reason, but so I guess what I'm trying to say is take some responsibility for how much you have, how much you can spend a month. Find some hacks. A lot of people find hacks. A lot of people work on the internet, which is great. You can do all kinds of things to make a little bit of extra money. But I've just noticed a lot of people that complain that it's kind of expensive are the ones I'm not sure if they were really, taking
They didn't manage their
responsibility.
money that good to begin with.
Right. I just got my Social Security, okay? I have not put in to Social Security since 2004, almost 20 years. Now, I just signed up for my Social Security. I get $1,300 a month.
No way.
Now, I was a worker guy, I had a family. I did this thing. I started working when I was like 15. So I put the money in there. Now, that's not a lot of money, but I do other things. So I never care about Social Security, but I'm just saying I hadn't put in Social Security for 20 years and I get $1,300 a month.
That's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just icing on the cake.
I think so, because I don't have to really use it. It just goes in whatever. But my point, and that's why I'm kind of like, if you don't have a whole lot of money, something wasn't going right, for whatever reason. I'm not saying bad things, bad luck can't be the cause of your financial woes. But a lot of times you got to take a little responsibility for the fact that maybe you don't have the money you want. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It always amazes me, some of the younger people that are coming here, and they already have a nest egg. They already got enough money to pay cash for a house. And I'm like, dang, man, I don't know what he did. Maybe he won a lottery, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he just knew how to manage his stinking money. Okay. And he's got money.
I've always been good with money. But anyway, I just got my Social Security. I'm 63, so I didn't get it at 62. And I don't want to wait because I don't trust the government. So I'm going to get my money when I can get my money, because, if you wait till you're 67, you can get $1,900. Yeah, well, I want mine now. So I don't care. And I don't care. I actually don't care about the government there. I do my thing and take care of myself. You're right, kind of was sugar on cereal for me anyway. And thank you for, looking 50, that's just, that's on here. If you actually saw me, you might go, damn, you look so much younger on the podcast.
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I'm not close to 62 yet, but as soon as I am 62, I'm going to draw mine right away. So, yeah, you can draw it at 62.
Oh, I thought you were older than me. I thought you were 66.
You're way older than I am. I mean, I started to call you grandpa.
You look old. I thought you was way older than me. Damn.
Remember, I'm chill, man. You can say what you want. I know what you're trying to do.
I know. You're right.
All right.
I think, go ahead.
Hey, so really for living in Costa Rica, one of the most expensive things really that I think most people find is when they go grocery shopping. Okay. But hey, that's true for everybody. Matter of fact, sometimes I often wonder when we go grocery shopping, I mean, hey, we got to admit that food is more expensive. And so I know that when we get our garden going, and we got a few tomatoes growing, I planted a few more tomatoes yesterday, but hey, you can save a whole lot. But hey, I know that if you go to the farmer's market, you could save a bunch. But hey, there's some things that when you go to the grocery store, you're going to spend a lot of money, okay? Especially if you're one of those people that, hey, you like a lot of meat, okay? Meat is expensive in Costa Rica. But there are a lot of things, for a lot of the ticos, hey, if you don't mind rice and beans, well, you can save a whole lot of money when it comes to groceries. However, I like rice and beans. I just don't want to eat it every day. Okay.
If you're going to the store and you're buying import things like Doritos, and name brand things from the States, you're paying top dollar. But the good thing about Costa Rica that I know people know this. You need a very little piece of land. You could do 800 square meters and have a ton of food on that place, man. D'Angelo's got avocados and cas and melons and papayas and plantains and bananas. And I mean, just one thing after another. And his property's not super big. If he wanted to, we could throw some chickens in there, get some eggs. I mean, there's so many ways. If you do change, I think, the way you eat anyway, which I think Costa Rica living here does that anyway, at least living here. I mean, it's not like there's a fast food, everywhere in La Fortuna. So I can't
Right.
just go get a number. I can't go get a number 7 with, that kind of thing. So I think you can easily eat good. You can easily grow your own food. You don't even have to be a green thumb. You can literally go, let me throw this papaya seeds over here.
Oh,
Let me
no, you're
let me put this
100%.
banana tree over here and see what happens. And guess what? You're gonna have bananas. You're gonna have papayas. You're gonna have avocados. So you start stacking those up, man. You can have a nice little thing of fruits and vegetables. And again, if you want to throw chickens in there or something like that, you can easily do that. A lot of people here, I don't know in your area, Alan, but a lot of people in Fortuna have those little tilapia ponds. Do they
Well,
have them
see, in
there?
my area, it's too cold to have tilapia ponds, and we don't have hardly anybody here. Up here, though, anyone that does have a pond, they have I've got one guy. It's a few miles away. He's got a trout pond. Okay, so at this altitude, you have to have trout. But hey, you're absolutely right. The ground is so fertile, and because of the growing season, I planted some banana trees. I bet you it wasn't a year ago, and I actually, one of my banana trees is putting on a big bunch of bananas. So it won't be long. I'll have a humongous bunch of bananas. But I'm telling you, the ground is so fertile here. I like to joke and say you can put a 2x4 in the ground, and within a few days you'll have a pine tree growing. I mean, stuff grows so easy.
People don't even know. You can actually just take a branch off a bush, cut it, stick it in the ground. It's going to grow. I don't know.
Yes,
It's
things grow
nice.
so fast. And it's like you said, you don't need a big plot of land to grow plenty of fruits and vegetables. I mean, a small piece of land, and you can grow an amazing amount of food, and it's just constantly growing year round, year round, year round.
And so this is how you get your cheaper place and live your simple life. You can easily find a place on some land. You can definitely have, and usually if you're renting, there's usually going to be fruit trees and stuff anyway. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So you find the nice rental property. You've got some food, and it changed maybe the way you eat anyway a little bit. And now your budget has gone for food and housing, and maybe you are by a town. You don't really need a car. You can get a little e-bike or a little Vespa, whatever, which I would agree with you is a good idea. They're obviously big here. We have everyone rides a little 250 or 125 to work and stuff. So there's just so many ways that you can live I only have $1,200. It makes sense because you can do it if you try to do it. And it doesn't have to be rice and beans. It does not have to have whole rice and beans thing. I get a little tired of because, but you have to have rice and beans. That's the only way you can do that. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, there's, I don't like to compare Costa Rica to the United States, okay, because they are completely different. But there are a ton of retired people, who maybe like you, they're only getting $1,300 a month on their retirement. Maybe they're only getting $1,600. I know a lot of retired people that the reason they come to Costa Rica is because they know that they can live on that $1,300. It may not be the best thing in the world, but they can live on $1,300 in Costa Rica, whereas in the United States, no, they cannot possibly live on $1,300 because their stinking rent might be $1,300, and then they don't have any money to eat. So if you're comparing the two, and you're like, that, hey, I can't afford to live in the United States or Canada on my little bitty retirement check, you can in Costa Rica, so long as you're willing to change your lifestyle.
Well, that's the other mistake. I'm sorry, the people make. They come down here and they're like, "Hey, I'm living in Costa Rica now. I'm gonna go buy this. I'm gonna go buy that. I'm getting a car. I'm getting this. I'm buying a house. Oh, I want an ATV." And they don't even know yet. They don't even know if Costa Rica is necessarily right for them or not, and they're purchasing all these things, and that leaves a bad taste in your mouth because if you come down here and do that, you don't have any connections. You've definitely overspent. I mean, no, it's not even possible. You got gringo priced out the ass on everything you did, and it leaves a bad taste. And of course, you want to forget Costa Rica, man. Forget Costa Rica. I'm going back. It's too expensive. That's why it's too expensive,
Well, I mean, take a look at what Doug says here. He says we definitely eat less or at least better than we do back in Canada. He says he loses 15 pounds every time he goes to Costa Rica. Well, yeah, I mean, in Costa Rica, it's so easy to go to the farmer's market, get healthy food. You're busy enjoying Costa Rica instead of sitting at the house. You're bored. You're reaching in a stinking pantry. You're grabbing another little Debbie snack, another, peanut butter and jelly. Well, in Costa Rica, you can really get out, enjoy the outside environment in life, and you're not sitting in around the house, because a lot of people get overweight because they're bored. They're bored out their mind, and that's all they're doing is they're shoveling stuff in their mouth, So,
well, yeah, I think, yes, Costa Rica gives you that backdrop for exercising. You do not have to go to a gym if you live in Costa Rica. Usually, there's jungle everywhere. There's paths everywhere. There might be the beach, morning walks, nightly walks. Just get out there and walk. Most people will change their life a bit. They just will, because it gives you a perfect backdrop to make the changes. It's perfect for it. Nobody's fighting you on it. There isn't a McDonald's on every corner down in certain places, or fast food. You do tend to eat a little better and not as much. And now you can walk. You can do some things. Do some chin-ups on a freaking limb or whatever. I mean, you can definitely do some things without going to the gym to really change your lifestyle. And if you want to live that lifestyle of health and a little wellness and eat a little better, good, you can easily do it, and you can do it for cheaper. So,
yeah, a whole lot. And, and I think a whole lot of people like Doug, he lost 15 pounds every time he's come here. Well, once you're here and you start losing weight, all of a sudden you're getting a little bit healthier. Well, now you probably don't need half the medications you were on when you was in the United States, because you are getting healthier, and now you're saving money on that. But, it's like you said, Costa Rica is a perfect backdrop. When I came down here, of course, I'm a runner, and I would just run places, and I'd see a little trail. I'd go down that trail, and lo and behold, I find a waterfall. Next thing you know, Rebecca and I is hiking. We're going to check this out. We're checking that out. But it does have the perfect backdrop to do more things. And like Rebecca mentioned earlier, well, a lot of people do get stuck inside the house because, in Canada, extremely cold, Louisiana, cold weather, you don't get to go outside, and so you gain weight. Well, you don't have that problem here because the weather's so consistent, you can always be outside.
It is unfortunate that I have lived here 18 years and I have noticed that the Ticos are getting larger. That's a bummer. But they don't have to.
Everywhere.
But yeah, it is. It's I hate seeing that, but that's a whole nother video, man, about the food industry. So whatever. But I don't know, man. I think Costa Rica can be a very good option for a lot of people to change the way of life and living. Not for everybody, obviously. And I just hate people starting off the wrong way, because it does leave a bad taste. It does. It is, man. They ripped me off. The gringo ripped me off. The Tico ripped me off. And it sucks. It sucks. That's what happened to me, and you. I lost a lot of freaking money, man. A lot of money.
Well, I neither one of us was prepared. And it was like someone said on here. Well, I think it was Doug. He said, I wish they would have, he said, I wish I'd have gone to a relocation retreat 15 years ago. He would have saved $100,000. Well, it's my own fault. I mean, it was your own fault. We came here for an opportunity. We came here and we weren't prepared. And so, yes, we got the gringo price. We got screwed. And so, I've said this before. I wanted to start a YouTube channel a long time ago, but I was so pissed off. I was so mad. And it was at that point that I was like, man, why am I here? But if you come and you're prepared, you just got to be prepared. And if you don't make the mistakes, you really can enjoy your slice of paradise. Makes a big difference.
Richard. San Jose is a city like any other city. And yes, fast food is everywhere there. But if I could give you any advice, or anybody listening, I would not be living in San Jose. If you're coming down to Costa Rica and trying to change your life, I don't think San Jose is going to be the optimal place. Now, maybe it is for some people. But but most places aren't San Jose. And we don't have a McDonald's. There's no McDonald's here. I think there is a little Pizza Hut cart thing along the road somewhere in Fortuna. But most places, unless it's super touristy, like maybe Tamarindo might have some more fast food, but most of them don't have fast food. And if you just move 10 minutes away from tourist areas, you definitely aren't getting fast food like that. You might get fast food in the way of casados, you know, some rice and beans and a little bit of chicken and salad and plantains, but you're not getting fast food as far as nasty ass little burgers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why anybody would want to go to McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, or any of these fast food places. Because look, I mean, the crap they serving you is crap. You you gotta you gotta do like my neighbor and my neighbor Jennifer. She says the main reason we're moving there is so we can be outside, do outdoor activities year round, because it's too cold in the winter here in Louisiana, my hometown, and too hot in the summer. Absolutely. So it all goes back to you really can, change your lifestyle. You can do more outside. You can be healthy. You can.
Where'd you go? Uh-oh, we lost Alan. We lost Alan. I like that joke. Is San Jose actually part of Costa Rica? No, it's not. I don't classify it as part of Costa Rica. Are you back?
I'm back.
You left for a minute,
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We got a little break in the internet for whatever reason, a little buffer, which is unusual.
I think the break was. I think the internet was telling you to practice that chill a little bit more. You get a little worked up, and they said, "Well, let me help you."
You
put you on a time out for a second. So
Wait a minute. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Historic Meadows says, yesterday I learned there was a Dairy Queen in San Jose. I don't think so, because I love Dairy Queen and I've yet to find one. If there's a Dairy Queen in San Jose, you let me know, because I'm going tomorrow.
Oh my God, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. Although when I was a kid, man, Dairy Queen was the shit. We went to Dairy Queen a lot. Dairy Queen was it. So that's funny. I mean, you're not going to stop, progress or supposed progress. And it is, even my little town of Fortuna, it's definitely not that quaint little Tico town by the volcano anymore. And things are going to progress. So I guess I'm not super surprised if there was a Dairy Queen in San Jose. That's for sure.
Well, I used to look for Dairy Queen years ago, and I couldn't find any. But hey, it's like you said, there's always progress. And he says he's going to show me. A guy sent him a photo of the front door. It's in a mall. And look, there's always progress. And that's one of the things, I've said it before. Costa Rica, it's when you go to Costa Rica, it's kind of like living 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's not nearly as developed. I like that. I like that it's behind the times. But hey, you can't stop progress. It is getting better and better. Infrastructure is getting a little bit better, but it's always going to be behind in a lot of things.
Well, I like the fact that you can. I mean, I'm complaining about La Fortuna, but if I wanted to move, what I love about La Fortuna is it's surrounded by beauty in every direction. So if I wanted to get off my ass and move 10 minutes away, I'd be right into nothingness with the waterfall. So at least Costa Rica provides that in a million places around the country, which again, most people only look at 6, which is still very amusing to me. Oh, it's got to be. Oh, we're looking at Uvita. Yeah, you and freaking 70,000 other people. Oh, we're looking at Nosara. Yeah, you and 70,000 other people. Man, pick another place. Pick another place. And even, don't get me started.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's one of the biggest mistakes, that Costa Rica is too expensive for you, is because you're going everywhere that the expats and the tourists go. Don't do that. I always said that my favorite place in all of Costa Rica is to go anywhere in the Paris Zeledon area. The only touristy thing in the Paris Zeledon area is Mount Cherapo, but that is so far out that you never see any tourists in the San Isidro or Paris Zeledon area, and you can still find property dirt cheap, pun intended.
Yep, I'm with Randall on the progress. I mean, that's a very subjective word. I would say we're going in the wrong direction, but again, I'm not stupid enough to think that things just don't change, man. That's the only thing that is, it's going to happen. Is change is always going to happen. And, it's not like it was 20 years ago or 15 or 10, and it's going to keep changing. So I guess it's all about adjusting and adapting. But my point is, in Costa Rica, you can find places to go. Okay, Fortuna's getting a little touristy. It's too trafficy. I'm tired of it. Well, let me move down the street a bit, and it's
right.
over.
Yeah. So hey, that's the way it goes. And look, while I'm thinking about it, because it's not a whole lot. And I knew there was not going to be a lot of questions today. And Rebecca and I, we're leaving right after this, so we won't be doing our usual Q&A today. We're getting ready to celebrate the New Year's. And hey, look, you know what? I hope all of you guys are going to be celebrating the New Year's. You know, one of the things Rebecca and I like to do is we kind of like to go out and then we like to kind of reflect. Hey, how was stinking 2023? Was it stinking 2023 or was it all right? And what do we think is going to happen for 2024? So, hey, we won't do our Q&A. So I hope you get time to reflect on how your 2023 was and what you're going to do for 2024.
Well, next week we're gonna kind of go deep dive into 2024 from all kinds of different avenues. So that's going to be super fun. And if you're going to be practicing your chill, I think it might be on that one, because we're going to talk maybe a little about where the States is headed, where Costa Rica's headed, where we're headed personally. You know, so we're going to be talking about a lot of feisty stuff, Alan, next week.
I'm going to be ready because I'm going to have a whole week of chill. And if I happen to go to San Jose and I find a Dairy Queen, I'm definitely going to chill with a blizzard. Nobody makes a better blizzard than Dairy Queen.
Guys, as always, we appreciate you hanging out with us for an hour. You know, the support is really nice. The questions are always great. We love that you guys have our back most of the time. And we got to go do our New Year's Eve.
Like button.
Got to do our New Year's Eve stuff. Yeah, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our channels. And again, we're separate. Give a brother a shout out. Hit the notification bell. Hit the thumbs up. All right, Alan. Right. Hey, you and Rebecca have a great time tonight, and I'll try to do the same. And I will see you next week.
All right, folks. Happy New Year's. It's going to be a phenomenal 2024. See ya.